Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream coming at you from North Texas. I'll be your host today, as well as every time. Whoa. Okay. We're good? Still live. Sorry about that. You guys, are we live? We are live. Okay, yeah, my Streamlabs is doing something weird, but we're live, we're good. We got the catering trucks on the way. What is going on? A lot of members of the chat already. Glad to see everybody here in the house joining with me on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. I hope you guys are ready to take this little Airbus up into some weather, because there is a significant line of convective activity between Houston and Atlanta. We're pretty much going to take this airplane right through it. So I'd be curious to see how we handle, if we get above it, if we top it or not. But there's some pretty good reports. Now, this weather is no joke. There's been there was actually some tornadoes here in Texas as it moved through. For us, we were safe where we were up on the northern side, but there were some tornadoes in areas that typically don't get tornadoes here in Texas. So hopefully everybody's okay and not going to be too much of an issue. And for those that are in the line of this weather, in the path of this weather, I should say, make sure you take the proper precautions, because it is popping off with some pretty serious convective activity. So figure we'll fly up, we'll take it out. It's much fun. It's much more fun to fly in that kind of weather in the sim than it is in real life. We'll see what it looks like here, how Microsoft represents it. Unfortunately, we're in the default Houston today. No good Houston airport yet, but I believe who's making it? FStream team is making a Houston at some point, so hopefully that will come, and that's going to be much appreciated, because the default Houston is meh. But anyway, Al W, what's up, man? Good to see you. As many as 12 possible tornadoes. Wow. I hope you made it out okay, Al. Good to see you, man. Chris Tupper's in the house. What's up, my friend? Brandon P. Ginar, what's up, my friend? Fubar, good to see you, dude. Fubar, I haven't forgot about the emojis. We are YouTube limits the number of emojis per member, so we're still a couple members shy, but as soon as we get the numbers, my friend, we'll update those newest emojis. Good to see you, man. Tyson's in the house. Scott is in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. Anzi, Anderson Kusu, Bob Lee Swagger. Is it Bob Lee Swagger actual? What's up, man? Good to see you. That's a good movie. Chuck Blake, Tef Velociraptor, Brian S. Stephen Hayner, Blue Bear. Man, there's a lot of green in the hat. Chaos, Jacobs, if I miss your name, I'm sorry. There's so much green. I can't thank you enough for the support. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Jessica, good to see you. Says, hey, Captain, with you from snowy Canada. Awesome. Well, we were going to do a Canada stream today. I legit had it ready to go. We were going to do an Air Canada flight in a 320. But when I saw all this weather happening, I said, you know what? I think it would be better to check it out here in the continental United States. And if you look, I was looking at this right before the stream started. Check this out, guys. So if I go to my flight, right now our arrival weather in Atlanta is a little bit spicy. 1.25 mile, rain, overcast, 400. Got my peppermint mocha here ready to go. So that's going to be, that could be a little bit spicy when we get down there. All right, let's fire up this airplane. We got the old instruments today. We got the analog gauges. So I'm going to bump up the sounds a little bit, because there's nothing better than the sound of the standby analog spinning up to life. So let's go ahead and do this here. The Shooter TV show is a great show, by the way. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the show. I've only watched the movie. It's a great movie, though. All right, 1 and 2 coming on. External power. Listen to that thing fire up. I love that sound. We'll admire it here while the screens come to life. Overcast, 400, spicy. Indeed, Jeff. How you doing, man? Good to see you. AJ Funari, what's up, my friend? Sorry I'm a little late. Was getting the special touch from the angry TSA agent. Oh, boy. There's been plenty of that going around. Plenty of that going around, man. TSA is for crew members here in the U.S. I don't know if you're referencing that as well, but there's just been a lot of drama about known crew member situations as well. Everything's powering up here. FWC, we'll go ahead and pop this sucker out here, get it aligned. I was cleaning my airplane yesterday and thought what would make this sim more lifelike would be to add random bugs to the windshield and leading edges. I tell you what, Circ 51, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point, man. I don't think we've ever seen that. That would be interesting, though, to have bug splatter and stuff. All right, here we go. Up the left-hand side, we'll get our CVR test. Man, it feels good to be back in the Phoenix. I was looking at the record of streams, and I had, flew the A310 quite a bit, and we flew the 7.3. It's been a few streams since we were able to be in the Phoenix, so glad to be back in this airplane. I love flying this airplane. Everything's aligned on the left-hand side. That looks good. Strobe and auto nav into auto arm U, auto elevation. Got into an airplane the other day. This is where we always talk about going through the motions. Make sure you're not going through the motions. on my, every now and then you get an airplane that maybe it comes out of a heavy maintenance check or something, and the switches are really not in the traditional powered down state. So the way the Fenix is laid out is almost identical to how my operator has the airplanes in their shutdown state. The only thing that's different is this switch here. We, out of my operator, run this in the captain only position. So typically I don't move this switch on the line in real life, but I picked up an airplane the other day when I was on a trip, and it had both gens were off. So it had both gens off, which of course it doesn't make a difference here like that, and then both packs were off like this. So if you weren't paying attention, you're used to seeing lights there, you're used to seeing those amber lights there, but I looked up and I saw, why do I have so many white lights on there? And I guess they just didn't flip the switches back. Now, does it make any difference at all here why the airplane's on the ground with nothing running? No, but it's just one of those, make sure you're not just going through the motions as you check things on the overhead here. But everything else looks good there. We'll do a quick battery test. In fact, we know that the Fenix likes to fail the charge, but since we'll do a charging test here, I haven't done a charge in a while, so that's off, and we'll put these back on. And we could see here that we need to have less than 60 amps within 10 seconds, or less than 10 amps within 60 seconds. That's what it was. Yeah, backwards. And you could see that clearly failed the battery test there. So this airplane does need to do a charging sequence. So we're going to go ahead and leave it on the external power with the batteries in the auto position. So that looks fine there. Engine fire test 1. Siegfried, welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks here on the channel. Glad to have you on board, man. Always a pleasure welcoming new members. Welcome to this AOC initialization. Let's get that done here. Man, it's been a minute. Flight init data request. There we go. Fubar says, V1, does your briefing packet give you some indication whether a plane has recently been through heavy maintenance? Yes, Fubar, it does. That's a great question. And so the number one, and I don't think I've covered this probably since I did the very, it's been a while since we did a stream where I sat down and did, hey, this is a by the book stream, and we go over little minute details. But by definition, when I get on the airplane, part of my checks actually start out here. So we have them, it depends on the airplane. A lot of times you'll see placards right here. Sometimes they'll be on the inside of the door. But my first step when I get in the airplane for me is I verify the airworthiness certificates of the aircraft. Once I get into my seat, I do my checks. I look for the life vests under here. I check all the compartments, make sure there's nothing in there. Check for the crash acts, all that good stuff. Check for the tough cutters and the rain repellent. And then the first thing I do when I sit down right here, I don't even take my iPad out, put it on the window. I pull out the tray table like this, and we leave it up here for pre-flight, and then I typically clip it down here. But it's called the can, or the maintenance can. I just think of it as kind of like a big binder. And I place that sucker right here on my tray table before I touch any switches, and I verify two things. And this just reminded me is I verify the tail number matches the paperwork, and it matches the airplane. Because sometimes, maintenance, if they're doing a lot of mechanical stuff overnight, they might have 3 or 4 logbooks with them, and there is a possibility maybe you have like something different, like 601 and 106 tail numbers, right? And they might have just flip-flopped it and put the wrong tail or put the wrong logbook on the airplane. So you want to verify with the tail number, whether it's placarded here or right here, 614 November Kilo, which is interesting because we're in a United bird. That's interesting. That's a Spiritual Wang's tail number right there, November Kilo. That's Spirit. So anyway, I would verify the tail number, and then after the tail number is verified, I look at the logbook itself to make sure that I look back to the last airworthiness release, and basically there's a 3-day check, there's a weekly check, there's an overnight check, and then any other maintenance that could have been done. And I verify, I look for the most recent one, I make sure it's been signed off, and while I'm in that process, that's when I can determine if this airplane came out of a heavy check or something. And typically, like what we call a traditional heavy check, or a C check or a D check, that airplane will have a ton of stuff written up in it, and if you're lucky enough to be the first one to fly it after a heavy check, hang on, because depending on the hour that it went in for, they might even have removed the wings on that airplane. So nothing like being the first person to take an airplane that just had the wings removed, right? So that's that process there, and that's something I skip over a lot on Streamwise, because it's one of those things, like you guys tell me before in the chat, it's like things to me that I kind of blow over on stream are things that you guys might really be interested in, because those are things that you really don't typically see unless you're actively in this field, you know, where you're coming into the airplane in real life. So that's just a little bit, but that's where I would check that. And of course, you know, one of the big numbers that I check for as well is the thrust reverser pins. So, or excuse me, not the thrust, the gear pins. So right down here, the landing gear pins, I want to make sure they're stowed, and I want to make sure that the thrust reversers were not, if they were opened recently, it will be every time the reversers are opened, or the, not the reversers, I guess I should say the engine cowlings or the latches. Anytime the engine cowlings are open, it's written up, and anytime the landing gear pins are installed in the aircraft, it's written up. So anytime I see those write-ups, I double check. I tell you, hey man, just make sure those cowlings are shut for me, or just, you know, make sure there's no pins in the gear or whatever, just to double, triple check, right? So there you go. That was a long-winded answer, but that's what we do this for, right? United stole it. Must be a merger. United Spirit merger. Oh boy. Mayshook, what's up, man? Good to see you, my friend. How long does it take to charge on the ground out? It depends on the you know, obviously depends on the battery and how low they are. But about, I think it's 20 minutes is when you're supposed to recheck it. So you do that, then you wait 20 minutes on ground power, and then you check it again, and it should be good to go. All right, Douglas, you got to go. I might take it easy, man. Thank you for stopping by the stream. Have a good rest of your day, my friend. But good question, Fubar. All right, let's, now that I got thrown off my flow, that's good. That's just like real life here. Let's just continue with our stuff. We're going to come down here. We're going to check the engine. We got oil. We're going to check the hydraulics. We have hydraulics. And we're going to check the door page, which is 1800 PSI, which is plenty. And my mom is texting me. Stand by. She's coming out for the holidays, so I just want to make sure everything's good. All right, cool. Everything's good to go. All right. We've done our initial flow. Let's come down here and start plugging away at the box. Kevin Thomas, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Do you know if the Fenix fuel burn is still based on the default Neo, or they fixed it? Kevin, I know they've tweaked it, but they basically tweaked it to as good as they could get it. It's not 100% accurate, but it's better than default, but it is still not really representative of a true CEO. It's closer. It just depends on the regime. But it's close enough to the point where I'm like, meh, it works, it works. All right, cost index, we're going to go 75, and I did find out, go 340 here as well, 340.47, that looks good. So I did find out if you load instantly, you get this bug here. So this is indeed a bug, but I load instantly for GSX. That's why I'm getting this fuel bug like that. But other than that, it's just it's not a big deal. Everything will be fine. So, all right, that's loaded in the box. Let's prepare GSX for boarding. Let's actually start the boarding process. We saw catering come to the aircraft when we first started the stream. So let's go ahead and request boarding. They're going to start doing their thing, and we need to get our stuff here. I'm going to put 22.8 here in Unicom just so while I'm looking at it. All right, winds here in Houston, departure METAR. We're looking at 340 at 9. Woof, I don't want to take off northbound. 10 miles scattered. So there's no ATC on, so I tell you what we're going to do. With no ATC on, I don't want to taxi all the way to a north runway. 340, we'd probably do 3.3, but instead of that, we're going to do 1.5 left because the SID is for 1.5 left, and it's a shorter taxi. And I took off 1.5 left the last time I was in Houston, so I'll be able to find it here on stream. I won't have to look at my chart the whole way. So we're going to depart with a tailwind. It's within our limitations. It's less than 10 knots, so we're good to go. We're going to go 1.5 left on the MUGS 4. So let's go ahead and start plugging that away. Departure 1.5 left, MUGS 4. Oops, passed it. MUGS 4 right there. And we're going out to the Lake Charles transition, LCH. Insert that. So I will be flying in this area very soon. I'm actually headed out to New Orleans. Any New Orleans viewers in chat? I'll be in New Orleans on Friday. Yes, Friday night. And then Saturday I come back to Dallas. But I'll be flying right over here. So there's our departure. And then we're joining the Gandalf. Mr. Rifle. Good to see you, man. He says, love this channel because I love these tidbit stories as he rose up in ranks of an airline pilot. Mr. Rifle, appreciate you, man. Glad you're enjoying the content. Absolutely. That's what this channel is all about, man. So thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying the content. All right, landing in Atlanta. We're on the Gandalf 2. Let's see what kind of weather they got in hot Atlanta. Arrival METAR. Winds are 090, so they're going to be landing eastbound for sure. So we're going to plan on, and you know what? I think it actually tells you on the star. This is something that you guys may or may not know, but even real world guys goof this up. So I'm going to show you here on the arrival into Atlanta. We're going to go arrival charts, and we're on the Gandalf 2. There's a note on this. So you're like, oh, which runway do I select? Well, number one, this is going to be the wrong... Oh, no, it is correct because we're landing eastbound. But you don't know which runway do I select. Zoom in. Right here. Note number 6. Select runway 10. I'm going to highlight that one. Right. Oh, well, that didn't work. Well, it was good in theory. I'll put a line like next to it. So, you know, a lot of times guys will be planning for their approach and like, oh, what do I, what do we plan for landing? I'm going to put 8 left in the box or whatever. The star and ATC are going to expect you on this one to select runway 10. So, for use when landing east, when landing west, expect the different arrivals. So we're going to put 10 in the box, which is the furthest taxi, but that'll be fine. What a great highlighter. Steven says, all ye who enter despair for the arrival METAR. Pretty much, dude. Pretty much. Fly-by-wire for the win. What's up, man? Good to see you, Roscoe. He says, V1 is the absolute best Airbus and sim education channel for US ops. Hey, Roscoe, I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, dude. Very kind of you. Hope you're well, dude. Hope life is treating you good out there on the East Coast. I'll be in your neck of the woods. Oh, no, you know what? I swapped out of that trip. I had a Boston overnight, but it was a terrible one. It was attached to a red eye, so I swapped out of it. I'm going to Baltimore instead. Yeah. But no red eye, so hope you're good, man. All right, Gandalf 2, and we selected runway 10, and the star transition is Shire. Yes, Shire. All right, Shire right here off of runway 10. We'll insert that. Done. So our flight plan is pretty much loaded. Let's do a quick secondary here. We're going to do IAH to IAH. What's a red eye? So in the U.S., well, I'm sure it's the same all over the world pretty much. A red eye, basically, you take off and you fly throughout the night and you land in the early morning. So because of the time change, an example of a red eye would be like if I leave Miami at 11 p.m., I'm going to land in L.A. at like midnight, even though the flight's 6 hours because you're changing time. So body clock time at 6 a.m., but it's still technically midnight or close to. I don't know what the exact numbers are when you land. And the opposite is true. Like you could take off at, midnight in Dallas, or I guess midnight in L.A., and fly to Dallas and get in at 5 a.m. That's considered a red eye. Anytime you fly through the window of circadian low, which is between 2 a.m. or is it 3 a.m.? Basically, any time of the day you shouldn't be awake. Like between 2 and 5 a.m., no one should be awake unless you're working. So, all right, if we have to come back, just going to select 15 right. Yeah, I'm just going to select the LS 15 right in case we have to come back. Secondary perf. Let's do that here. We'll put 200 in the DH. Let's hit the magical barrel ref key, 0 for 0 on the wind. Temperature off the ECAM is 16. And what was our magical barrel ref? 2983 is what we've got set. So we'll set 2983. And we're right there, the secondary done. Radbap, nothing to hard tune. Progress page. My buddy just texted me. He said he got jammed on the arrival last night. He was coming in, speaking of red eyes, he was doing a red eye and they got GPS jammed. Another military GPS jamming activity, and the airplane went all haywire. All right, perf data and NIT-B, everything looks good there. So fuel, we already saw it's on board. We'll do 16.1. That goes in the box and it is balanced even though it's in the wrong tanks. That's fine. That is set and done. Radio versus baro. Baro is a barometric altitude off of your altimeter. Radio minimums are radar altimeter minimums. They are your height above the ground, which theoretically a baro altitude and a rad altitude, while they might not be the same numerical figure, they are the same position in space. All right, that's done. That's done. Let's get our init B. So let's come all the way back here. Let's do our mass and balance tab on the EFB. The mass and balance says 129.8 and 30.2. 129.8 and 30.2. Boom. Set. We do have an alternate, which I didn't put in there. Oh, I did. Alternate of Nashville. Our fuel for our alternate is definitely not negative 2.9. We're going to put 4.0, which is going to be spicy. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of extra. 6.2 min destination, no extra. RIP. 3.0. 13 minutes. So let's do 3.5 to go all the way to Nashville. 6 minutes of extra gas. Not a lot of gas. This is probably a legit. Fuel load, because whenever there's weather, you always get shorted on the gas. Unless you're flying into Orlando, everybody's tankering like 30,000 pounds because there's no gas at Orlando Airport apparently. Better break out the sextant. Oh boy, if you have to break out the sextant, you're gonna have a lot more issues. That's for sure. All right, departure performance. Let's do a quick run of the numbers here. We know we're gonna take 15 right. 15 left. And the dry surface is fine. Let's load that and let's sync the live weather and we'll calculate that. We got 49, 49, 51 and flaps 1. So perf 149, 149 and 151. Oh, those are flex numbers. Divert to Nashville, says Sam. Oh boy. What about, and the pack's on Force Toga, yes. Let's recalculate that. 1940-40 flap 1, that sounds better. 1940-40. Well, that's pretty low for a V1, but 1940, or for a, yeah. Oh well. 1940-40 flap 1, down point 2, no flex. Those are set and done. Let's do another battery check, shall we? Let's make sure our batteries did properly charge. So I'm gonna, to make sure that they did charge, I'm gonna press the electrical page again. You can see we have 0 amps and the contactors are closed, so there's no active charging going on. So let's come up here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna shut both batteries off and then we'll put both batteries back on. And we should have, look at that, decreasing within 10 seconds. 0 amps. So our battery charge has been successful. Our batteries have been charged. That looks good. At that point, let's go ahead and, how many we got? What's our departure time? Oh boy, yeah, we got to start the APU. Let's go ahead and fire it up. 87 to 159, slow boarding today. Let's go ahead and start the APU and hop outside and take a listen while they load up. Is entering the THS number optional? Yes, for the 320 family, the 19, 20, 21. I say it is optional, but there is a, depending on the software load on the airplane, now with NEOs, you could get a trim THS disagree, but we have that, none of that is simulated in any of the airplanes we have in Microsoft. In X-Plane 12, the 321 NEO will trip your THS. If you don't set it. But that is something that we don't bother setting. That's a company op spec. Some operators put a number in there, but it does absolutely nothing for you. In the Fenix 320, a classic engine 320 with an FMS 1 H1 revision, does absolutely nothing for you. Brad K, what's up, man? Good to see you. Brad, Cardinals couldn't even get business done for us, man. We're out, Brad. We're out, Brad. I'm telling you, man. Chargers are probably going to make the playoffs, and Jets are out, dude. I've lost all hope. I've ever flown the C-172 with G-1000s. I have been. Many times. Sam says, what I would do for some good Nashville seating in Microsoft is long overdue. Yeah, Sam, Nashville would be a nice one. I love Nashville, too. We definitely need a good Nashville. I remember flying into Nashville when I was a new captain, and there was a massive lineup, similar kind of like to what we see out there today. massive line of weather between me and Nashville, and we were like, I don't know. And there was one little hole, and the Southwest went through and said ride was okay, so we followed suit, and sure enough, we got in there just fine. But it was I was definitely questioning life decisions at that point when we were going through these massive thunderstorms, but actually it was pretty smooth, so little Nashville. It is the stock sounds. Yes, the Fenix has a phenomenal sound set. It has a phenomenal sound set. I'm going to start the chrono up here as well. Warm up that APU oil, so it's even more important, you know, on times like these when it's cold outside. You do want to get those warm-up times because you need to make sure that oil's nice and warm before you turn on the packs, because it could, I don't know, could leak theoretically. I don't know. That's what Airbus tells us. Kevin Thomas, I was. Short stint, but I was, yes. We need an FMS -1 for the old United 320. Yeah, we need just OG, man. We just need a CRT FMS 0.1. Kind of like, you know, if you think about it, the Tolas 319 when it first released, that was pretty much what we had. You know, you switch the star, you switch the arrival. When you're flying it, the airplane will do a 180 on you because it wants to go back to the beginning of the star. It won't happen in real life anymore, but it used to happen on the airplane back in the day. They've since cleaned out a lot of the box is really improved on the Airbus. Matt, I agree, man. We need a good Fenix as well. Do you fly over northern Mexico and Texas often in your travels? It just depends, man. Really just depends. Really just depends. All right. While they finish up the boarding, we have no ATC. Let's finish up the rest of this. We'll set 340, or what did we have? East is on. We set 350, right? Flight plan, yes, 350 is filed. Constraints on. Everything looks good there. We don't need the electrical page anymore. I'll just put this guy on flight plan. And yeah, we got our speeds done. We're going to taxi to 15 left. Phenomenal. 1 more minute to go. We don't need the dome light anymore. We'll kill that. And, oh, look, the sun's peeking out. Look at that. How cool is that? Oh, just pulled an X-plane on me. Come on, Microsoft. Just pulled an X-plane. That was 100% X-plane. Arthur, what's up, man? Welcome. Steven says, I went to Nashville once and I had their hot chicken, and I swear I was about to drive myself from the hospital while it was sitting. Steven, yes. Nashville hot is, I don't mess with that, man. Kevin, yes. Yeah, so depending on, it was a different airline for me, but even if it was the same airline, the same fleet, it's all based on what your seniority can hold. So if your seniority can hold it, you can literally upgrade. So let's say you have A320s, 737s, and A350s. Let's just say that's all your airline operates. Now, you could start your career as a 737 first officer, become a 737 captain as your seniority gets more and more, and then you're like, you know what, I want to bid to the A350 and fly wide body. My seniority allows me to hold the A350 right seat. So now you go from a captain in the 737 to a first officer in the A350. And then let's say you get tired of being a bunk buddy for, you know, the rest of your career. So you're like, well, I'm going to go back to, I want to be a captain, but I like the routes the Airbus flies. So you could actually bid a captain slot to the Airbus if your seniority allows you to do it. So your literal first flight on the Airbus, you could be a captain if your seniority holds it. And if your airline's training allows you to hold it as well. So you have to be PIC typed on the airplane. And that's, in today's day and age, it's pretty much standard practice everywhere. All right, we've got everybody on board. Let's go ahead and pull the ground power and the chocks on the Fenix tab. And let's get ready to push. Look at that. We're right on time. GSX, prepare for pushback. Clearance is requested. Do I want to start engines before pushback? No. Jet bridge is pushing off. Everything is done. Let's go ahead and get the beacon light on. Reset the chrono. Waiting on the slides.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Awesome. We'll finish up a checklist. We'll be right with you. All right, before start checklist, windows sorting slides, closing on, beacon on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is on, transponder is transpondering, before start checklist is complete. Throttletek cam is up and running.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
It's not inserted. You're lying to me. We're standing by. And ramp control United 357 request push. United 357 pushing the alley tail north. Beautiful. AVA I belong to is going to be unveiling a bidding process for equipment based on seniority. Seems interesting, but I would hate to get bumped in the next bid. Fubar, that's very interesting. That's a very interesting situation you got there. All right, we need to go nose left, tail right.
Locking gear.
But yeah, Fubar, that's so in real life you can't get bumped unless there's a displacement. Typically, once you hold a seat, so let's say you do bid to that A320 captain slot, even though you may be senior to some other 320 captains, you can't bump them unless there's a displacement. The only way you can get that slot is if there's a vacancy. If there's a vacancy, then you can get in. But yeah, you don't have to worry about getting bumped every single month. All right, brakes are released, clear to push.
Commencing pushing. All engines clear. Start at will.
Man, the Fenix, I don't know, maybe it's just this default airport. It's so like blah that the frames are awesome right now. I'm getting like crazy good frames. But yeah, that's typically how that works, Fubar, in real life, is you don't have to worry about getting bumped out unless there's a displacement or something. They're shrinking the operation. Pin is still not inserted now. Love that GSX finally stopped ground personnel moving across the front of the aircraft in those left situations. Nice. I haven't even seen that because typically I just go to that passenger wing view there. There's an unknighted taxiing out. That's cool right there. 3 of my closest friends are on the 737 at United. Scratch that. One of them's on the Airbus. And actually, speaking of 7-8. I got a really good friend that is going to bid 787 first officer.
Set parking brake.
Interesting push, but we'll take it. Push or brake set, clear, disconnect.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
All right, they're going to do their thing there. That United's taxiing away. Let's go ahead and start engines. Shall we? We shall. All right, we're turning 1. Engine mode to ignition start. Enjoy the startup sounds. Here we go. Starting 1.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Not bad for a CFM startup. Not bad. Pretty dang good. This guy's over here doing wheelies, I know. It's just a GSX thing. What's the scoop on the VAAL launch tomorrow, Lauren? Indeed, I was going to talk about that once we get up to cruise. I actually need to get the thumbnail, but yes, we are going to talk all about that. A little something special is coming tomorrow. We'll do a 2-engine taxi out. I got there was my pin, so we're good. She showed me the pin. Let's go ahead and start a numero 2. But yeah, so tomorrow, guys, I got something special. We will be flying an airplane that you have never seen me fly on this channel yet. In this sim. It's an airplane you haven't seen me fly on the sim yet. So we're going to tackle that tomorrow. Got an exciting stream tomorrow. I haven't scheduled it yet, but it will be at 4 p.m. Central, 5 Eastern. And you guys are going to want to be around for that because I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And it's going to round out how we fly around here on this channel for sure. Beautiful. We got 2 good starts on there. Well, let's wait for that avail light. I hate how that keeps clicking over, but that's just a Microsoft thing. Avail. That's going there. We're going to arm the speed brakes. We're doing a flap a row 1. Pretty blah. Flaps 2 looks cooler, but we'll do flap 1. That's what the airplane wants. There we go. That sounds good. There goes the other unknighted. We'll go ahead and go APU bleed off. That can come off. Are you guys ready to taxi? Let's do it. Houston traffic, and after you can send a taxi 15 left behind company in Houston. All right. Let's go taxi light on. Outside view check. Brakes released. Spool them up. Let's go find some hail. Man, the sounds, we really need a flyby camera by default because the sounds are so good on this airplane, even on the outside. Like, they sound legit. Hot air balloon, says Robin. Good to see you, Robin. Wings are looking good, my friend. All right, brake check, pressure 0. Mini brief. It's going to be, let's see if I can do a mini brief. If I remember how to do it. All right, it's going to be off of 15 left on the Mugs departure. Gross weight is 145.8. Speeds 119, 140. Initial altitude is 4,000. Standard transition. First fix is RNAV to ITAPS. I think I did that right. That's an FO brief, at least for us. V1 asking on Unicom for Pyreps hail hunting. Yes, sir. All right, we'll transition the left side here. Now, in real life, these are bridges, so like FSstream team would be pretty sweet to have here. Ah, Ramon, I wish, dude. I wish there were IAEs. Trust me, if IAEs drop, you will know all about it, my friend.
Houston traffic, United 1324, departing 33 right from Whiskey Lima, Houston.
Man, look at an overachiever, man. He's taking off the proper direction. Looks like your friends will have about 1,000,000 737 MAX aircraft to fly after yesterday's order. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what was that? I saw something briefly. It was 30 billion? I saw Blanco Lirio did a video. That's what I saw. Blanco Lirio did a video. And it was like 30 billion aircraft order for unknighted. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. A lot of that, though, it's not growth, unfortunately. It's a lot of retiring of old airframes. Typically, they use the right side for parking, so we'll go left side, spot 1, I think, if my memory serves me right. And then you would contact metering, then they contact ground, and then you would taxi to 15 left, or the other way around, but we're going to go 15 left because nobody can see, nobody can stop me. They ordered 200 787s, there you go, yeah. 100 78 and 100 737, jeez. That's pretty wild, man. That's a big order. That is a big order. Wait, someone said something about Austin is out? There's an Austin airport? Really? Richland, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Like, I'm reading the chat. I'm driving to the right. Richland, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully, hopefully you'll get another one here pretty soon. Enjoy the stream today. Take your mind off of it. Ooh, nice departure there for United. What's up, Kevin? Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Really appreciate that. Have enjoyed your channel since discovering it a few weeks ago. Cheers. Kevin, well, I'm so glad that you discovered the channel, man. Thank you for that super chat. Very generous of you. Welcome to the V1 community. I hope you continue to enjoy the content here. Very kind. Thank you for your super chat, man. I gotta turn the alert box on. There we go. That way I don't miss any of those. But thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you, sir. All right, let's do our control checks. I like this guy. I like this guy out in front of me here. He's living dangerously. Nothing like taking off with a 10-knot tailwind. All right, here we go. Flight controls, full up. Full down, neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Down 0.1 on the trim is what we needed. Down 0.1 is set. Beautiful. Auto brakes, max. Takeoff config is checked. That's going there. That's going there. That's on. TARA. Squawking 2000. Taxi checklist. I don't remember it by heart because we just changed it, so FO would read that. All right, taxi checklist complete. Lineup checklist. Lineup checklist. All right, takeoff runway 15 left confirm. Fuel 15.7 required. 15.9 on board. Engine mode selector is normal. Bleeds and packs are set before, or a lineup checklist is complete. Stow the tray tables. I don't know why we had to change that to make that like a checklist item, but apparently guys were taking off with the tray tables out. That's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to have the tray table out for takeoff. They don't show the video anymore, but a long time ago there was a scenario where an A320 had an RTO, or no, they crashed shortly after takeoff. I can't remember exactly. It was an RTO or shortly after takeoff, and the tray table basically impaled the captain and killed him. So that's why, one of the reasons why you don't want to have your tray table out for takeoff and landing. Key 6, is this where I find the real Airbus captain? No, this is the real fake pilot. Real fake pilot, my friend. All right, we're gonna take Whiskey Alpha, Whiskey Victor. Actually, you know what? Because of the tailwind, look, I'll be extra safe. I'll go full length. Since we are taking a 10-knot tailwind, I will go full length. I won't even cut the corner there. This guy's in the penalty box. Maybe he's waiting for a gate, or I don't know. He's in a 737, so I wouldn't be surprised if that airplane's broken.
Houston traffic, United 1324, direct bottle, Houston.
Shaq Oatmeal, what's going on, man? Hope you're well, dude. Thank you for the continued support. Time flies when you watch premium content. Shaq Oatmeal, dude. That's so kind of you, man. I appreciate that. I hope you're well, my friend. Hope you gonna have some time off for the holidays coming up here. Hope the family as well. Shaq, I appreciate you, man. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you for the support, dude. Houston traffic, United 357, departing runway 15 left, Houston. All right, let's go. I see one guy out there on I don't know if he's, I think he's on departure. We're gonna just light it all the way up. Let's do this thing. Here we go. Lineup checks. All right, what do we got? We got 292 watch and 87 likes. That's unacceptable. We're gonna need 150 likes, or else I am gonna 180 this puppy right back around. I'm gonna go to the gate and I'm gonna go fishing. 150 likes before Toga. Let's do it. Come on, bump those numbers up. Smash that like button. Doesn't cost you anything. You're not gonna get COVID. It's been sanitized. Nice sanitized like button. Let's do ourselves. My lineups in real life have been absolutely on point. So let's see if that translates here into the sim. A little bit harder without. Nah, I think I overshot that one. That's pretty good. A little bit of an overshoot there. That's pretty darn good. How are we doing on the likes? Did you guys approve? Are we approved to continue? We are 151. Ooh. I know Joke was about to pull a 180 here. Thank you for the likes. You guys are awesome support. Let's spool them up 50. Yoga's in chat. Turn it blue. Let's do this. Look at those 737s there. Yoga. Oh, yeah, baby. Here we go. Mantoga SRS nav. Auto thrust is blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Nice and easy. Positive rate. Gear up. Navin. Fly with. It's going to be real loud. Watch ears. Nice stutter there, Microsoft. Oh, yeah. That looks good, though. Oop, we need a turn. That's a immediate turn there off 1.5. In the turn. Flying with. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at this livery. Man, this livery is 10 for 10. Makes me wish I was... no, I'm not going to say that. Alright, there's lever climb. Let's bring it back 1D10 here. We're man MCT. There's a nice positive trend in airspeed here. Let me get back on it. At or below 4,000 is the restriction. There we go. There's our nice positive trend. Let's go right back into the D10. Thrust climb, climb. Navin. Love that thrust reduction sound. Man, Fenix sounds are so good. So good, man. We got some high quality add-ons. Alright, out of below 4,000, 1,000 a level off check. Looks like the weather is cleared out of here. This is cool though. We're going to see this unfold though, because we have... It's cleared out right here, but we are going to be flying into the weather, so we're going to see how it handles. Look at that, 32 knots on the tail already. Good night. Houston traffic in at 357. We're at a 3.5, just short of taps. Last call, Houston. All right, we'll level at the first one, and then we're going to just go open climb after that. There's definitely picking up some nice wind here. Speed out, star.
And Houston traffic United at 2075, departing runway 15 left.
Alt constraint. Speed flaps 0. Yeah, those engines come way back. Thrust climb, climb. Autopilot 1. I wanted to hear it spool up. We're a little late. Let's listen to it. We're going to level at 5. That's what we're going to do. We're going to level at 5. And then, oops. We're going to see, we're going to listen to it spool up. I have a 3090. Yeah, Flame's right. 3090. Alright, so this is what I wanted to hear. I want to hear this thrust up here when we pass this restriction. Let's listen to it from right here. Here it comes. Oh, nope, fake out. Seat 2A. What's up, man? Thank you for the $3 super chat. Or excuse me, a $3. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Oh yeah, it's muted. Sorry about that, C2A. Had that alert box muted. Bank angle check right back at you, man. He says, wait, last call. I thought this place was open much later. C2A, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for the $3 super chat. Bank angle check right back at you. There's that spool up. That's what I wanted to hear. Look at the factories down there. That's pretty cool. That's Houston for you. Half green, half brown. Pretty ugly. Oh, let's go ahead and just go open climb up to 350. Thrust climb, open climb, all the way up. Speed limit exceeded. I don't know why. Maybe it's having a hard time with the winds. It looks like this airplane's having a hard time with the winds. AJ, indeed, spool up right over that refinery. All right, we're entering some visible moisture. Man, the sim is looking so sharp today. It's got to be below 10 C, right? Ah, it's actually plus 16. All right, we'll roll with it. Houston's pretty ugly. Dallas resident confirmed. Steven, come on, man. You got it, right? I mean, look, if you go up to the Woodlands, much prettier up there. But just like downtown Houston is... Got to bring Blue Games on here to debate. Houston's just clapped out, man. Dallas for the win. Fort Worth for the win. Actually, Fort Worth, Dallas, then Houston if I had to rank. Man, this is looking so good, though. Look at us going between these clouds here. Am I just not used to flying the Phoenix, or is this looking extra juicy today? I live in Colorado. We look down on Texas in general. Oh, great. There we go. That's why. Houston is kind of ugly. Houston resident confirmed. Man, look at that. I think we just went through 10. Did we go through 10? Yes, we did. So we're through 10. We're accelerating. Let's go ahead and get our lights off here before we rip them off. That's coming off. That's coming off. All right, everything looks good. Forward call on the flight attendant push button. We'll come down here. We'll do a copy active flight plan. Done. And then in VHF2, we want to select Delta operations on 121.5. Monitor that in case anybody meows. Check. 22.8 is on our Unicom. We're going up to 333 knots on the climb out. That's going to be pretty loud. So what's interesting is, if you remember, you saw me post a shorts video. Uh-oh. Getting a weird... The sim is running super smooth, but I'm getting these weird stutters. That's like I've noticed multiple stutters now. That's interesting. I mean, the frames are awesome, but every now and then we're getting these weird stutters. So if you remember, you saw me post a shorts video where I was comparing the noise, the wind noise, at several to 3 different altitudes, the same Mach number. And you can tell as you get higher, you know I'm not a liar now, right? As you get higher in altitude, it gets much quieter. 37, 36, 38, all high 30s, pretty darn... Oh, here we go. It's pretty darn quiet. You start doing 330 knots below 20,000 feet, it's loud. Not unbearable, but it basically sounds like a 737 at high altitude. Benny, thank you for the 24 months, man. Appreciate the continued support. Dude, 2 years of E1 status confirmed, man. Thank you so much for the support, Benny. Hello, Captain. Happy to see you back on stream. Benny, it's a pleasure to have you here. Good to be back, my friend. Good to be back. Wind noise check. Yeah, exactly, Flame. What's up with the stutter? Milltown24, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been, indeed. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, Milltown. I appreciate you, dude. The Itch says I was having the same, but I had to clear my rolling cache. I think my rolling cache is off. David, go. How do you get your clouds to look so good? Mine are on Ultra and look pixelated. I'm not doing anything special, man. I'm not doing anything special. This is, I've got them on Ultra, but look at that. Look, see that stutter? All right, something's going on here. Let me pull up the old task manager, processor manager. Let's see if I'm getting a spike in something again. I'll do some troubleshooting. I never had this with the Phoenix. I had it with the 310. I'm going to monitor that, so if we get another spike, I'm not even going to change camera views. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to see if we get a stutter, and then I'm going to monitor what's happening on my rig. Oh, there was a stutter. Yep, and a CPU ping. Interesting. Streamlabs issue? Well, let's try to minimize that first. Let's put that into a performance mode. Let's see if that changes anything. Eliminate stutters in Task Manager. Set MSFS exceed to priority high. Thank me later. I think I've already done that. Where would I check though? I forget now. Hold on, there's FSUIPC. I don't know, it seems like it's not crazy now. That continues. We'll have to investigate further. But did OBS update? I'm not sure. No, it didn't update when I launched it. It's the same as yesterday. All right, standards are set. We're at 19.2, nice and loud indeed. Aviation Blase, I don't know it. I want to say that it sounds better too, honestly. I really think it sounds better, but who knows? Maybe it's just because I haven't flown it in a while. Can they push little updates while we're not paying attention to the Fenix manager? I'm not sure. Turning film grain off in the config file fixed all my clouds, and now they officially look like. Interesting. I don't think I have film grain on, but yeah, that. Oh, I remember that. I remember guys talking about that. That might be something. They did Martin Beck. Okay. I don't know. They haven't changed anything. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I do know, though, that they can sneak little updates in, because if you look at the Fenix app on the desktop app, and like without any updates, it changed, like the whole user interface changed for adding sharklets, adding SATCOM, adding IE engines, and there was no official update. It just changed the one time I launched it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can add little tidbits here and there, but I'm not sure the extent of that. That's possible. Center of Aviation, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. We are climbing out, and we are getting ready to go find ourselves some weather and some hail. Unfortunately, I don't think we have weather radar working, right, in this airplane? Weather radar doesn't work, right? Not in this one yet. Let's go Cal +4, tilt it down. GCS auto. Yeah, nothing's really working there. But it's alright, I'm vibing with these clouds right now. I am vibing with these clouds. Flight Sim Gamer, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. It says, enjoy your content. Question, could you get into a private jet like the one you fly daily and just go, or are you a private jet certification is a different animal? Thanks. Everyone, please hit the like button. Thank you, Flight Sim Gamer. I appreciate that $10 super chat, man. So, to answer your question, if you have your own jet, you can go in and fly whatever you want. It would just be under what we call Part 91 here in the U.S. So under Part 91, you're basically a pilot cowboy. You get the keys to the airplane, you can do whatever you want. You got to be within the rules and the regs, obviously, of Part 91 operations. But there's no limit to where you can fly, etc. Now, if you want to charter your jet out, or you want to use your jet for hire other than personal use, now you got to start looking into Part 135 operations. That's when there's a little bit more regulation. But no, if you have your own airplane, man, get in and fly. You can go wherever you want. Thank you for your support, man. Hope that answers your question. No sneaky updates can be pushed through, just to clear that up. All right, Kiro. Clear it up then. Unfortunately, I was just hoping. But then how did they update the... Because I know that changed. And there wasn't an official update when they changed the livery manager app. Do you think it's worth it to get the Fenix A320? I use the fly-by-wire, and I'm wondering if I should. And also, is the Fenix good for streaming? I have streamed with the fly-by-wire, and it's been great. Center of Aviation, absolutely, man. Look, there's another stutter. Right when there was a gifted sub. Center of Aviation, to get to your question, yes, I absolutely think it's worth it. I love the Fenix 320. It's a fantastic airplane. It's different than your Neo, right? It's a totally different airplane. It's a 320 CEO. It's a classic airplane. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles that your Neo has, but it's still an Airbus at the end of the day. So if you're familiar with the fly-by-wire, you're going to be able to fly this no problem. And the Fenix is priced right. It's what, $50, something like that? So it is priced right, and you will no doubt enjoy the Fenix 320 for sure. Tony Johns gifting 5 memberships to the channel. Tony Johns, thank you, man. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for your support. He says, in honor of a VAAL launch day. Indeed. Let's get into that real quick here. So, guys, tomorrow, I was hoping I was going to have the stream scheduled before I started this one, but I guess I ran out of time. So, tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 4 o'clock Central Time I normally stream, UTC -6, I think it is. So we are officially going to be launching VAAL, which is the same guys that brought you V-Spirit and PVA, the same great mods. They are making virtual airlines fantastic. And it is... they are launching VAAL, which, as you can imagine, is American Airlines. So tomorrow, I got a very special treat for you. I hope you guys will be able to tune in. It's a little bit later for the European viewers, but I wanted to do that because, you know, it is American Airlines. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of American people that want to fly American Airlines. So that's kind of why I skewed that time a little bit. But I don't want to exclude anybody overseas or in different countries all around the world, because I know for a fact there's guys in Europe that fly V-Spirit, so that's pretty cool. And it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. These guys, the guys that run V-Spirit and PVA, they don't cut corners when it comes to virtual airlines. And before them, I never was into the virtual airline thing. I've talked about this before. I talked about how, you know, because I work at a real airline in real life, being part of a virtual airline wasn't really a drive for me, but I totally understand why people want to do it. And this is really going to be, it's going to round it out for us, because we like to do our VA Fridays. We got V-Spirit, we got our historical group, which I still love. I'm just waiting for more airplanes to drop here on Microsoft so we could get back into the historical group. And then American. And American is, I mean, you could run the world at American Airlines. So that is very cool. It's going to be an exciting stream. It's going to be an exciting time, and I hope you guys will tune in and show the guys some support as well that are going to be running it. So more to come on that. I won't tell you what we're flying. I won't tell you the route yet. I will put up a stream notification at the end of today's stream here, and I hope you guys join me for that. So that should be exciting. Can you fly U.S. Airways as part of VAL? Kevin Thomas. All those questions will be answered tomorrow, man. Got to tune in tomorrow. Unless Lauren, of course, wants to pop in some info. I wasn't sure if it's fully undisclosed now, or if what I'm supposed to say, what I'm not supposed to say. But Lauren says VAAL launch will be modern schedules plus mainline schedules circa September 2000. Along with a 2007 schedule. Cool. So that's one thing, guys. Like, I know there's other virtual American Airlines out there, as well, like virtual airlines, but they're not, like, I've looked into them. Like, I was like, okay, you guys are making a VAL, that's awesome. There's probably got to be some other VAs that are American Airlines, but it's not. Nothing is quite run like how these guys are doing it, and gals. So I really think they are changing the game when it comes to making sweet little virtual airlines. So I love showing them my support. They support me. They support this channel, so it goes hand in hand. Conductor Pilot, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Conductor Pilot, welcome to the channel, man. It says, you've changed the way I sim and taught me so much about flying the bus. Thank you. Conductor Pilot, that means a lot to me, man. Is you know, thank you for your support, but that really means a lot to me. When you tell me that you learn from me and you pick up information from me, and it makes your experience that much better in the sim, it just reinforces why I love doing what I do here with you guys on the channel. So thank you, man, for your support. Thank you for that donation, and hope you continue to pick up information. I'm looking out this wing here, and I'm seeing a lot of clouds down there, guys. It's looking pretty thick. down there. What I'll do is I'm going to actually pull up some real weather here. We'll look at it together. We'll see if there's any, you know, what the tops are and things like that. Captain Shark with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Captain Shark 21. Nice takeoff. We need a very good payware, Houston and Phoenix. Captain Shark, it's in the pipeline, man. And so FS Dream Team is working on Houston, and I know there's also a Phoenix. It's not. Is it FS Dream Team as well? But I know it's in the pipeline. We just got to be patient, man. I am kind of surprised that one didn't pop off right away. I mean, Houston's a pretty major airport. Phoenix, I could see kind of slipping under the radar initially, but Houston is a pretty big deal. So, kind of surprised that we don't have one yet. But good things come to those who wait, my friend. Thank you for the support. Al W says I was in VSWA back in the day. It was a blast. Awesome, Al. Yeah, I never flew any virtual airline until. No, I take that back. I think I joined one virtual airline. It was a freight company, a lot like on FSX, and I didn't really like it. It took too much time, and then I kind of got away from it, like I said. And then I saw the V Spirit thing kick off, and I was like, okay, you know, that was the first one, and a couple guys that were starting it were mods on my channel. I was like, dude, of course I would like to check it out. I'll support you guys. And when I checked it out, I went in with an open mind. I was like, man, this actually makes it a lot more fun. It really gives you that purpose, and it makes your flight feel like you truly belong to something else other than just you sitting at your computer and doing a virtual flight. And how much fun have we had on our VA Fridays? I mean, we fell through the taxiway at Tampa. Was it Tampa or Orlando? We fell through a bridge there in one of those. We've had a lot of fun VA Fridays. We've been holding for traffic. We've had to divert. We've had some good times with VA Friday. You know, and then PVA comes out, which I really like. That one is definitely more hardcore. It's for the historical aviation buffs. You want to have purpose, and you want to have flying done in like Piedmont, old Pan Am, Braniff, older airlines, but you want real schedules. You want all that stuff laid out for you. That's awesome. I love that concept. And I also love the concept of where the schedules change based on the time of year, right? So it's like, or not really the time of year, but the season. They have seasons of schedules for PVA. So I love that. And then VAL is going to be along those lines as well. So it's going to be exciting. 1,000 feet to level off. Let's take a plop here on the jump seat for a minute until we level off and cruise. It's a bright day out there, so let me give you full realism mode here with the cockpit. We'll go 100% realism. This is pretty much what we would be doing right about now. Tomorrow's the day where my station is getting 175s. Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. Kevin says, what does the crew supply button do in the Airbus? I guess it's for the flight attendants. No, that's for crew oxygen supply. So, you're talking about right here. Basically, it opens and closes the low-pressure oxygen valve for the cockpit to make sure that we have oxygen. The reason we turn it off is in case you don't want that valve to, if it doesn't close all the way, I guess you don't want it to be, or if it's not properly seated, you don't want it to be slowly leaking. So on shutdown, we turn this off, like when the airplane goes to bed, crew supply goes off. But for wake up, and that's part of your initial wake up and your cockpit preparation, is make sure that's back in the on position. So that's for the oxygen in the crew right here. That one there, and then does this move? Of course it does. It's the Phoenix, and that right there. So that's what that's for. Man, those sounds! Holy crap! That's spot on. The Airbus seat wrap. No charts on the windows? No, Steven. This isn't a 737. Speaking of crew, what is galley shed and why is it absent on the 320? Sean Delaney, it depends on the electrical configuration that you're flying on your specific tail number. So you can see this one, we don't even have a galley shed, do we? It'd be over here, right? I forget where it is now. Is it on this side? We have a galley and cabin on this one, so some airplanes don't even have this. Some don't even have the commercial button. Basically what it does, and depending on how your electrical system is laid out on your specific airplane, it can vary. It can be a 320. You could have the same 320s in the fleet, but one tail number could have a slightly different electrical layout if maybe it was picked up from a different airline. Basically what it does is it allows you to lighten up load on the electrical system in case of an electrical abnormality, whether you're having an emergency electrical configuration where in that case you want to shed everything, or maybe you're having a generator problem and you need to lighten the load on a generator. You know, maybe you're dispatching with one IDG or one generator in op. You got to lighten the load, you got to do bus transferring, you don't want to be too hard on the system. So those push buttons allow you to manipulate the load put on the electrical system. And the only time that you really would use them is when either directed to by the ECAM or by a checklist, or like I said, when you need to reduce load on the electrical system. And it varies. Some of them have different wording. So galley shed, then you have galley and cabin, you have the commercial. It just depends on your specific airplane. Dougal McTavish, what's up, man? Good to see you. V1 playing with the Phoenix buttons. Dougal, indeed, man. Always playing with the Phoenix buttons. Sam says, I love that sound with the seat moving. Heard it so many videos without knowing what it was. Yeah, Sam, and somebody said it to me the other day. I had a jump seater on my last trip who never been on an A320, never been on an Airbus, never been on a Neo as well, and he wanted to sit up front. Delay code. Oh, we were late. 2 minutes? We were late 2 minutes on that one. That's all right. We'll think of a delay code. Yeah, Sam, so basically he was telling me, he's like, yeah, somebody told me that you'll always hear them adjusting seats and you never know why. And he said it was true because apparently we do it instinctively. I must do it instinctively as well. But when you're coming in for approach, there's a spot where your seat is just perfect. And it's not always exactly lined up with his. Whatever your spot is, only you can tell, and it will change on the approach. Like you're coming in, you think your seat is in the right position, and they're like, okay, I need to adjust. You go tick tick, and then you're just doing little adjustments, like little more. Oh, that was too much. So it's like, let's see. You know, I can't do it quite quick enough. Oh, it even works on the up and down. Yeah, this is the one I mess with a lot. Like on approach, like too much, a little bit more. Too much, bring it back down. But yeah, we're always playing with our seats for some reason, trying to get the perfect view for landing, get that butter. But all right, we got a smooth ride here at 35,000 feet. Seatbelt sign will come off. You're now free to move about the cabin. And let's turn it down a little bit. Let's go outside, take a look. Oh, wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. While we look at that, I'm going to pull up, let me see what the tops reports are coming into Atlanta. Max Park says, is there a specific length of time that you try to keep the nose wheel off of the ground after the main gear? No, Max, you just want to fly it down. You always want to fly that nose wheel down. You know, you don't want to keep it up too long, but it looks cool. So there's a fine line between looking cool and making sure it gets down. The problem with holding the nose up too long, eventually that tail will stop flying, and when that happens, it's just going to slam down. Now, some guys, I think it's poor technique. They hit the mains and then they just let go of the side stick, or let the forward pressure out of the side stick and just let the nose come straight down. It smashes that nose gear pretty firm. But, you know, fly the nose down right after touchdown. There's really no limitation on the 320 about how long or whatnot, but just be careful. If you keep it up too long, the nose will stop flying and it will smash. Right now, the tops are above 45,000 feet. Tornadoes hail to 1.5 inches. Oh boy. Where are we over right now? Let's take a look here. Let's pull up let's go airports. We are over, what's HDC? I don't know that one. Any of you on a PC? Macomb. So there's Macomb out there. So we're still got a little ways until we get up towards it. We're kind of going to be skirting the southern. Yeah, so it actually should be getting, it's much worse over here. We're kind of skirting the southeastern side of this line of weather. Yeah, we need IEs, man. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. We need IEs. Do the seats need a battery power to move? They need not battery power. They need to have essential power? Or not essential. No, they need one bus. I can't remember now. Now I'm drawing a blank. I know it's not battery power. Basically, you have to either have ground power or a generator running. They won't run on battery. And you can move them without battery. There's a lever where you could just move them freely. Kind of like the 737 or Embraers had it too, where you just moved it with the lever, lifted it up, and kind of slid back and forth. Yellow electric pump. No, don't need the yellow electric pump. That'd be funny though. Yeah, it looks like it's going to get bumpy here. So the nose gear doesn't necessarily have to come down in the touchdown zone. Dub. No, not necessarily, but if you're landing on the 1,000-footers or close to it, that nose will be down before you exit the touchdown zone, whether you like it or not. Because once those mains hit and the spoilers come up, the airspeed's going to really start to decelerate, and that nose is going to come down whether you like it or not. So unless you land at the very end of the touchdown zone, you can hold the nose up as you get out of it, but no. As far as the airplane is concerned, and we're concerned for being safe, mains on the ground in the touchdown zone, and you can fly that nose down a little bit past it. You'll be all right. Cloud curtain ahead. Yeah, but this looks, I mean, if they're popping up, this looks, that actually looks pretty realistic. You know, you got some really big isolated storms out there. At least it's showing correctly, unlike that other sim where you just have a wicked wall cloud. You're headed to Austin, coming up on Alexandria, and have bad weather. Bill, thanks for the pilot report, man. Chaos, thank you. AC power, yes. They need AC power to move. Took me a minute. Dougal, I agree with you, man. The weather in the sim is it has its moments, but it is pretty darn good. Like, you can see, this is exactly what I would expect, because there's a huge line moving north-south, and we're kind of going around the south and to the east, trying to get in front of it. But you have some big isolated thunderstorms inside of it. According to the charts that I'm reading, it says there's tops up to 45,000 feet. So that doesn't mean every single one's above 45,000. That just means there is potential for some of them to be. And I tell you what, you do not want to be going into a thunderstorm at 45,000 feet. No, sir. That's something you definitely want to avoid. All right, let me pull up this. Just north of Lake Pontchartrain. Beautiful. Oh, Al, I got excited, man. So I swapped one of my trips around, so I will be able to watch the TCU game at home. I'm trying to adjust. There we go. So the way I had my schedule originally, I was going to miss probably the first half, because I was going to be coming back from Cancun, but now I switched my trip out, so I'm excited for that. Go Horned Frogs, man. Let's see if we can get a dub on Saturday, or New Year's Eve. You convinced me to load up the sim and see firsthand. Awesome, Captain AB. Let me know what you find. I want true cumulonimbus clouds in the sim. Hey, I would love true cumulonimbus as well, but we've got to take steps at a time. Look, think about this sim. It's been, what, 1 year? 2 years? Has this sim been out 2 years now? Think about 5 years from now. Like, if the base is this good already, man, the potential is exciting. Because you can fine-tune those things, like the weather and the types of clouds that get depicted and all that. The only thing I see off with it right now is upwind anvil right above you. Upwind anvil. You see an upwind anvil? So this, I think, is just another layer. This is kind of like a top layer. We're in multiple layers of clouds right now. So, like, there's obviously a low. Then we've got the cumulonimbus. And then this is like another strato, alto cumulus, alto cirrus, stratosphere. I don't remember that stuff. But something like that. One of the high ones. And it actually, you'd be pretty close to be thinking about engine anti-ice, because even though we're not descending, it's still minus 48, so it's plus 6 up here. It's still a little bit warm. And it's not out of the realm of possibility, but we're safe. Minus 48, we're all right. Cirrostratus, maybe that's what I was looking for. 5 years and the entire Airbus lineup later, yeah, 5 years just a 319. Someone give me a 3. Here's I'm gonna be. This is what I need. Like Phoenix cares, but I need 319s before I can't fly 319s in real life anymore, because I would love a Fenix A320 in this sim. We need it. I miss my 319s. Let me see if I'm flying a 319 on Friday. I doubt it. I think I'm flying a 321. At least this far out. I had 2 days. I may not know. Let me check. But the 319s are slowly but surely going away. Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like it's going to be a 320. Dang. I wonder if the sim renders lenticular clouds around mountains. Chris, I would doubt it. I'd be interested to find out. Look, that is serious. This is an epic. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring up the tiller cam real quick because I want to show you guys what I'm looking at. Just kind of. This is the easiest way. There's probably a better way to do it, but so. Can you guys see that? So we're kind of skirting around the back side here. I don't know, that's got a bad glare on it. There's probably a weather app I could download and show you guys, huh? Let me try to do it. Let me try to do it that way. Hashtag pro streamers. Alright. That would be kind of cool if there's a... Is there like a radar on... never even thought about looking. NWS radar. Oh yeah. Duh. How about we look at the actual weather that I used to look at all the time? Real fake pilots. What are you going to do with them? Let me make a proper source though, because last time I did this, it crashed it. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to add a separate source so we can look at a weather together. We are on the radar. All right, cool. Now you should see this. So if you look at this radar, where are we at? Lake Charles. We're coming up this direction. So now we can't really see. We're kind of in those high layer clouds right now. But our flight plan had us kind of scooting around through the south, and then we're going to come up and go into Atlanta over here. So there's actually a break. We might beat it in, which would be interesting. That would be cool if we can beat it in. But you can see here's some scattered cells. So you got a couple cells scattered along here. A lot of this green stuff is probably low level, but you have a lot of high level just blow off and alto cirrus clouds or whatever. But that's a pretty serious line. No joke to that. This sucker goes all the way up to... It's fizzled out, but I guess St. Louis. This might be a little different of a line. Let me see if I can find a... I haven't used this in forever. I don't know. Local radar. National radar. Oh, there we go. What do we got here? Those Sigmets or something? Those are some nasties. Those are some nasties in there. Scud running in a 320. Yeah. Oh, so there you go. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we are dealing with. Alright. Yeah, we are... So Macomb, Ponk, GCV. I should know that one. What do we got here? Meridian. Mobile? No. Where is... Oh yeah, here's Gulfport. Gulfport, Biloxi. Took 190s in there on charter. That was a fun overnight. So yeah, we only got about... We don't have that much longer to go, so we'll enjoy it. We'll come sit out here on the wing. There's really not much to look at right now. Have I tried flying? I just tried flying the drone sim. It's so hard. Jeremy, what's up, man? Good to see you. I haven't flown the drone sim. I have to check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Captain Corn Dog, good to see you, man. My little girls wanted corn dogs for lunch. So random, but your name's Captain Corn Dog. I thought I should let you know. That phone app is on the Microsoft Store? Yes, it is. If it says... Oh, we were talking to Food Bar. Scud running in a 320. No, you want to avoid that if all possible. Is it time to put the seatbelt signs on with this weather? So you would, depending on what you were, in the real airplane, of course, we have a radar that's going to tell us if there's any vertical shear in there. We have a little bit better idea. Without the radar, I'm kind of just going by what the airplane is telling me. Right now, it's pretty smooth. So just because you're in some clouds right here doesn't mean that 100% of the time it's going to be bumpy. But yeah, it would be something that you would be thinking about for sure. I mean, this is welcome to the all white on white washed out stream. Smash the like button if you're just looking at a white airplane on a white background. Another reason why I don't like white liveries. Would love to see the Beaver stream. Richland, I'm going to get to it, man. I promise you. I don't know when, but I will fly the Beaver. Or maybe I will. Is that the Milviz? No, that's a Porter. I might have to check out a Beaver, too. Kevin Thomas says, how much of the Airbus engineering knowledge do you need to have to fly the 320? Not much at all, Kevin. Now, the thing is about when you always, it's an interesting question because you never really need the knowledge until that system is acting up on you, right? But that's what basic training, that's what your type rating is for. It is going to ensure that you have a depth of knowledge sufficient enough to troubleshoot and handle problems associated with your airplane at the pilot level. Things that we have absolutely no control over, like what happens if the... I'm trying to think of an example, like one of the valves in the galley is not closing and it's leaking water. I don't need to know where that valve is, what the torque specs are on that valve. All I need to know is to call maintenance and they're going to come up to the airplane and they're going to go shut the main water off at the galley. Like that's where you're not, that's kind of where what you have to think about. But also, when you look at more in-depth systems, when you start getting into some crazy abnormals, knowledge will never hurt you when it comes to that. So I don't think you could have too much knowledge, but that type rating is to give you that nice understanding of everything that you can control up front as pilots and how you can alter what you can from the cockpit to have a safe operation of that airplane. I wonder if V1 knows Bernoulli's equation to describe lift. No. PFM. That's lift. Oh, it is Milviz, Rishan. Okay. Maybe. I might have to check it out then, because I do like Milviz stuff. How was the wind noise compared to my short phase? I honestly, we weren't in the cockpit too long, because it was pretty quiet. Or it was pretty cool looking at the clouds, but I might have to play it back. We'll see. I think overall, though, the Fenix wind noise after that latest update, I think it's pretty good. I think they've done a good job. I think they've done a good job on the levels that it runs at now. Maybe we should step climb. Now, I would say we could step up to get on top of this, but let's try it. What the heck? Let's burn some gas. Optimum max is 38. Let's try 37. Let's just see if we can get above this. So I got 370, new cruise altitude, and we're going to see if we can climb above this. See if we can get out on top. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll try. In real life, I probably wouldn't do that because if it was smooth, I'm going to keep it smooth. Would love if they added a headphone toggle on the FB noise cancel. When yeah, phase one, that would be a good option. even if it's a little bit less realistic, it's still nice to kind of filter that out. I totally get what you're saying. Oh, you're at 39, Liam, and you're still not above it? All right. Well, we'll climb to 37, and we'll run with it there. Are high cloud layers like this realistic? Absolutely, Jeff. Absolutely. That's why I said the most realistic view then when the clouds are like this, because it's just so bright. There's so much reflection. Like the most realistic view is like that. All the shades down, because you can't escape the blindingness, because it comes in from all sides. So you put all the shades down and you're just flying on instruments. Pun intended. Well, in real life, there's also fuel bills. True. Call it here like in headset like DCS says. Yeah, Flight Sim guy. That would be cool. Indeed. There was an airplane in... Is it the Flight by Wire? No. TBM. I think the TBM does it in X-Plane. You can click on the Bose headset. Mutes it. No icing or something in the clouds at high level? Malteser depends strictly on the temperature aloft, right? So right now, if I zoom way in on it, we're minus 53 sat. It's way too cold. Any moisture up here is already going to be frozen. It's not going to stick to the airplane. Now, am I saying it's impossible to receive icing at minus 53? No, but highly, highly unlikely. Unlikely to the point so much so that you're not required to use any engine anti-ice or anything like that. But when you look at the history of Air France 447 flying into supercooled liquid droplets, that can be a little bit spicy. But that was, I think they were also at a little bit lower altitude, and the temperature was much warmer where they were. And even at this, even though we don't have engine anti-ice on, the probes are still heated, right? So even if you get those ice pellets, those little granules like sugar, like they're the size of sugar, fine sugar, little ice pellets pelting the airplane. If they get into the pitot tubes, they're just going to melt because of the heated pitot tubes. The 650 as well. There you go. That's right, Swarm. Boris has implemented it into sound packs for the Vision Jet, for example. I didn't realize that Boris was the sound pack guy for the Vision Jet. I'm going to have to check it out. I'm going to have to check it out for sure. Do you think cloud surfing in the sim sometimes feels way slower than in real life? Especially at the lower altitudes, the clouds don't seem that dense. Rahul, I think what you're missing there is the, being able to see the clouds split the wing, depending on the density, which short of, I don't know if we'll be able to ever simulate that. I know it's probably possible because you get wing vapors and stuff on certain airplanes. And DCS does a good job of wing vapors and stuff, but I think that's what you're missing is when you're flying in real thick stuff and you even lose the wing lid out there. Now, in this sim, I've experienced it at night or in low light where I can't even see the wingtip fence or the sharklet because it's so thick. That's pretty cool. That doesn't happen in just any sim. But yeah, you could tell even at 37, we're still right in the tops. So what I'll probably do is I would probably turn the seatbelts on for the descent. Right now, how far are we to ATL? Let's put this in the prog page. We are 219. We really need to start thinking about prepping for our way down. But right now it seems pretty smooth, so we'll just keep rocking with it. We'll just go back to the jump seat view. That's kind of the best. I kind of like that little side jump seat view there. Gives you the realism. They properly contracted for the Vision Jet. Good, man. About time somebody gets Boris some respect. He should be contacted for all different airplanes. Are you hand flying or auto land? Well, depending on the visibility, we'll have to see. Let's do a quick arrival METAR update. Actually, let's pull it up through the McDo. Let's see if we can get ourselves a new weather. Let's see what the latest and greatest is. Oh, 100 or 110 at 9 knots, half mile, 900 for or runway 09 rights, plus 6,000, light rain, mist, overcast 300, temperature 7, dew point 6, 299 or 4. Spicy, I love it. I can't wait to see this. 2 hour tower ink. What does that mean? I forget. Tower included visibility. Or something to do with visibility. Ceiling 2, vertical 4. Oh my gosh. I'm actually drawing a blank on that one. Tower INC. Someone in chat's got to get that. What's that decode? Okay, so let's look at this. Realistically, if I was faced with this type of weather scenario, I would strongly be considering, hey, let's set up for a Cat 3, because while you could still do a Cat 1 ILS, we're not below minimums here. We're half mile, which is the limit, and the ceiling is overcast 300. You're right at minimums. You're basically right at minimums for a Category 1 ILS. So if the airplane is capable of doing more, I would set up for more, especially since we don't have a ton of extra gas when you consider the gas burned for our alternate. So with that being said, arrival ATIS is online. Information Gulf, 299 or 4, basically the same that I just showed you. ILS 8 left and 9 right. NOTAMs, operate transponder, mode C, and blah, blah, blah. Thank God I wish that was the only NOTAM in real life. In real life, about 72 pages of NOTAMs. But let's look at, they says select 10, but the ATIS says they're landing on 9. ILS approach 8 left, 9 right. So with that said, since 10 isn't in the option list, now we can safely say we're probably going to land on 9 right. And let me look at the reference real quick. 9 right, I always forget. As many times as I've been to Atlanta, ground charts. Just want the 10.9 page. 10.9, just give me the 10.9. 9 right in real life as well. Yeah, especially coming from this direction. 9 right. They're not really going to fly you over the finals typically. So we're slightly coming from the south. So 9 right, with it being in the ATIS, we're going to safely bet on that. We'll flip it around in the box as well. So let's do that. Let's set up for an ILS Cat 3 9er right if it's possible. Well, I don't see it here. ILS 10, 26, 26, 26, 27. Oh, surely they have a Cat 2 or Cat 3 for 9 right. It's got to be down here somewhere. Here we go. ILS 9 right, Cat 2, Cat 3. We're not going to do special authorization Cat 1, but we're actually going to do ILS PRM 9 right, Cat 2, Cat 3. And this is going to be for my practice only. There's no PRMs in VATSIM that I'm aware of, or I don't think so. But I'm going to show you what PRM means here. But essentially it's the same chart with one little major difference. We'll get to that. Let's prepare for the ILS Cat 3 PRM 9 right. PRM means precision or parallel. Oh God. PRM stands for precision radar monitoring, I think. Basically parallel approaches. So let's put this in the box then. We're going to take it out and we're going to do from Andy. So we're going to change this around. Arrival, ILS 9 right here. And we're going the same thing, Gandalf from Shire. We'll insert that. And then I'm going to go into plan mode and we'll zoom down. Let's look at the airport. And it looks like it has us out at easy. I'm actually going to bring that off further. 9 right, arrival, approach via Andy. And if you look now, you could see I've extended the approach all the way out. This way I have all the possible fixes. That way if ATC gives me something that's further out than just the final, I'll have it ready to go. So you'd always rather have more than less in this scenario, because when you're coming in, talking about PRM, talking about Cat 3, you don't have a lot of time to screw around here. You need to be ahead of the airplane. This is one step that we can take early on to make sure that we are ahead of the airplane. So we're going to select it via Andy transition. That's in the box. RadNav page, nothing to hard tune in here right now. We're going to let it auto tune. Progress page, I'm going to put the runway in there. K Atlanta 09er right. That is set. Perf next phase 79 340. Let's knock this back. We know we're going to be descending into some serious stuff here. We're going to do 78 Mach and we'll do 320. Actually, we'll do 300 because it's could be a little bit spicy with the weather. We'll do 78 300 on the descent approach. The altimeter was, why is my pressurization page on? I think that's a bug. Altimeter is 2994, so we'll put 2994. Temperature is 07, and I apologize, guys. I'm going to break from the chat here because I'm going to actually prep this like I would in real life because I haven't done a Cat 3 in a while, and this is good training for me. So I'm gonna be doing this out of my real world book here for a second. All right, mag wind is 110 at 9, so we're gonna verify that's within limits. I'm pretty sure it is. It's almost right down the runway. Radio, we're gonna put no DH, or actually it's just no. We just put no or no DH in the radio mins. All right, so that is set. Return that. I'm actually just gonna keep that up in case I need to reference it. So with that set, let's go back to there. Let's go constraint mode. Let's get LS push buttons on. Let's set auto brakes low for now, and let's book it. So I'm going to pull up my Cat 3 precision radar and etc. briefings. So give me a second while I do that. I charge my iPad. We only have 27%. If I didn't have a charger and I was at 27% about to do a Cat 3 PRM, I'd be sweating bullets. But I think we'll be all right. Oh, look, I'm actually pulling out my real-world chart. That's not what I wanted to do. I need to go into my manuals. While my iPad is loading, what I can also show you is the Attention All Users page. So for those that have not ever heard of PRM, Precision Runway Monitoring, thank you. Basically what happens is the airport is set up to have two airplanes approaching exactly parallel at the same time. And the runways are spaced apart at a distance that is close enough to where it calls for extra monitoring. So when you're in a very close scenario like this, you've got airplanes that are wingtip to wingtip parallel, and they're doing Cat 2, Cat 3 approaches, there is virtually zero room for error. We have some phraseology that we use in case somebody is off course that calls for an immediate breakout, and we have to monitor a separate frequency. So I will explain that here in a minute. I'm logging in here. Let me hit my, actually log in. I was completely logged out. So my Cat 3 normal briefing, we're going to start with that first. So we're going to go to the QRM, which is a quick reference manual. And in my QRM, I'm going to pull out the Cat 2, Cat 3 approach procedures. We have to determine if we are fail passive or fail operational. So a fail passive approach is laning capability is Cat 3 dual or Cat 3 single, which is what we're going to be. And a Cat 3 fail operational is a Cat 3 dual only. So we'll do fail operational, I think, right? Let's see. I'm going to go through here. Minimum. I'll just check this out. No, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so we're going to do a fail operational approach. We're doing fail operational. We don't have anything broken that would make us do fail passive. We're expecting Cat 3 dual, so that's how we're going to set up. We are setting up the airplane for the absolute lowest possible minimum, which is an auto land, which is no minimums. All right, so in real life, I would be looking at my iPad and I would be doing the book it phase, which basically I'm going to read through the procedure silently. FO is going to read through the procedure silently, and then I'll brief him, since I'm pilot flying. I'll brief him or her on the upcoming procedures. But we do need to set a lower altitude here so we don't get ahead of the game. Let's just set 240 and start down here, so we don't get high as we brief that, and we'll go seatbelt sign on. Atlanta approach looks like they're online as well, so let's get this done. All right. Captain has to be the pilot flying for a Cat 3 approach, which I am. The capability of the aircraft is a Cat 3 dual, which is an auto land. Verify the logbook and dispatch release. We talked about that at the very beginning of this stream. So there is, got to make sure there's no anything broken on the airplane that would prohibit us from doing this approach, which there is not. So that is fine. We'll continue on there. Seats adjust, and this time your seats, you want to make sure you're adjusted so you actually see the one white and one red ball there. That's what we need to do. You want to have your seats in the proper position. All right, select Cat 2 or Cat 3 in the AOC landing data. That's something we don't do here on the stream. I can do it on the EFB here, though. I'll get to that in a second. Aircraft type, this is our limitation. So we are in an A320 Classic CEO. Our max crosswind of 15, max tailwind of 10, max headwind of 30. We're within side of limits. Required RVR 333 or check approach chart. So the approach for us on 9 right, I should just star it. ILS Cat 3, this one here, it's starred, beautiful. The minimum is RVR 300. So RVR 300, we've got RVR 300. We're within limits. Touchdown zone mid rollout, we don't have that in the sim. Minimums, we've already set no in the radio field on the perf approach phase, and that's indicated here. We got no DH and FMA column 4. Check. The callouts are going to change a little bit differently here on approach. At 350 feet RA, check that the land is displayed on the FMA. Land green is the call. So we're going to see land green like we always do. This time we're going to incorporate it into our approach or call out. So you will hear me say land green. Between 50 and 40 feet radar altitude, check that flare is displayed on the FMA. If no land or flare, the FO announces no land, no flare. The captain announces go around flaps and initiates a go around. So I'm single pilot. I'll have to take care of that myself. Approximately 30 feet, check idle is displayed and auto thrust starts to reduce towards idle. Check that rollout displays. We've reviewed the callouts, land green, and there's a 100 callout from the FO. It's either landing or go around. There's no in between here. Flight crew must initiate a go around unless they think that only small corrections are necessary to rectify minor deviations from stabilized conditions. So that's a note that we got to pay attention to as well. Engine out automatic landing, that does not apply. One reverser does not apply. Maximum demonstrated airport elevation, we're well below that, 6,500 feet for a CEO. The RVR equipment requirements, we've already checked the charts. We're 333. That's what we have, 300, 300, 300. So we have that. We have the equipment. Our book it stage has been completed. So we've booked the approach. You can see we're out of the soup, but now we're getting into that low-level stuff, which is causing havoc. Let's prep the Atlanta Echo Juliet approach, or I don't know what that really is. I'll get him ready to go, though, in case he calls us. 3347, 13347 is in the box there. Let's go back to our Gandalf arrival. The bottom altitude on this is 8,000 feet at Schuler. So we'll continue the descent. We'll go ahead and set 8,000 feet up here. 8,000 is set. Now let's take a look at our landing and rollout. So landing and rollout, you want to pay attention to this when you're low vis, because you're probably going to need to use low vis taxi routes. So right here, taxi routes, where would you be? De-ice pad, low vis taxi, less than 600 RVR. That's the chart we need, so we're going to pin that one. So looking at our low visibility taxi routes, landing on 9 or right, it looks like the only exit available with low vis lighting is all the way at the end, 27 left. With that said, That is why I'm going to select auto brakes low. I'm going to let it roll out. I might even disengage the auto brakes early because we're not taking November 6th or November 10th. We're going to go all the way to the end, and we're going to stay right here on the high-vis taxi route. You can see the arrows depict the direction of traffic flow. You can either go south here, you can go left, cross at Juliet, and then it looks like Lima into any of the concourses. I don't even know where we park. We'll just park over. We'll just find a spot and park over here. We don't have a specific gate that we're going to, but that's the taxi route. So you don't want to use the other chart. You want to use this specific chart. So that is done. The only other thing we need to look at now is the actual PRM chart on the approach. So I'm going to come back to the approach, attention all users page. This is a very important page. Let's kind of go through this together. So the attention all users page, ILS precision monitoring, precision runway monitoring. There, I said it right there in front of me. For all the runways, pilots who are unable to participate will be afforded appropriate arrival services, which permit and must notify controlling ATC as soon as practical, but at least 100 miles out. Review procedures for executing a climb and descend PRM breakout. Traffic alert, call sign, turn left to right immediately heading, climb, descend, and maintain. So all breakouts must be hand flown and initiated immediately. This is what I was talking about. When you're wingtip to wingtip on approach, if an airplane starts to deviate from his course, maybe they overshot the localizer or there was a bad vector and they deviate into the no transgression zone, there will be a breakout initiated from air traffic control. You have to have dual VHF comms. So this is where it's specific to this approach. On COM 2, we're no longer just going to monitor 21.5. We actually have a separate radio frequency we need to monitor. So if I look at the PRM chart here, it will show us the monitor frequency is 132. Where'd it go? Monitor frequency is 132.55. So I'm going to put 132.55 in VHF2. That's going to be my monitor freak. And you want to make sure that that audio level is actually above your COM 1. So I would put VHF2 all the way up, and you technically need to verify that this frequency is working. So you would actually tune in an ATIS, or maybe you could you tune in the ATIS of the airport, or you could just turn to the frequency where someone's talking. Make sure you are receiving on your second radio. Once you've verified that, we're going to put in the monitor frequency, which will be silent, and then we're going to come back to VHF1. So we're talking on 1, we're listening on 1, we're not talking on 2, we're listening on 2, and our volume on 2 is greater than 1. That way, if tower is talking to us and there's a breakout initiated, we'll hear the breakout instructions more so than the tower controller. There is our ping from Atlanta approach. Contact him. We have information Gulf. Let's do it. I know it's kind of a fire hose of information, but hopefully you guys caught some of that. Atlanta approach, good afternoon. United 357, we're 15-2 descending via the Gandalf with Gulf. Ah, 3347, rip. Wrong freak. 13347. Where are you at? There you are. Atlanta approach, good afternoon. United 357, we're at 13,000 on the Gandalf 2 with information Gulf.
United 357, Atlanta approach, squawk 0441, altimeter 2994, information Gulf. South Gulf, okay, thanks.
Squawk on 0441, United 357. Roberto
United 1324, radar contact, 2 miles.
Good to see you, man. Guys,
Southwest of Halo.
Throttletek himself is here in the chat.
Runway.
Glad to have you on board.
runway
Yeah, you
right.
joined right at the fire hose, right at the fire hose scenario of the stream, man. We're going over some PRM stuff. We got
United 357, radar contact, 5 miles southwest of Gandalf, runway right.
We'll expect 9 right for United 357. Expecting a Cat 3 approach here into Atlanta, so had to kind of scramble and get everything briefed up. But good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. Roberto is here. Yes, Throttletek himself. We got our Throttletek cam up and running. And Roberto, I'm going to get you that information.
United
right after
357,
this.
reduce speed to 210.
Slow to 210, United 357. Slowing to 210 knots. 210 selected, and let's help him out. Let's go ahead and get more speed brakes in here. Pop those boards out. Looking good. Great class on PRM approaches. Yeah, it was a quick one. Quick class. United Parks North End Tango with American. All right, here.
United 1324, turn left heading 020, just to maintain 5,000.
020, 5,000, United 1324.
So that's gonna really mess our. So I'm gonna leave flaps in here. I'm not gonna go flaps 1 yet because that would actually hurt my descent. So I'm gonna leave. We're right at green dot. We've got 210 selected. We're selected speed. Let's activate and confirm. We'll come up to the top here. We'll get our mini speed brakes on. That is set. Flight attendants prepare for landing. You can see we're right there, right in that green dot on the way down. We're trying to catch up to. That's at 8,000 feet at shoulder. We should be okay though. I think we're gonna make that just fine. So Lima 3. Terminal T, you got it. All right, 1,000 feet to level off. We're looking good now. Let's go ahead and extend flaps 1. You can hear the engine idle actually bumped up a little bit there. Get approach idle kicking in. Bump up the sim sounds. Let's get flight recorder ready. Replay is ready to go.
United 1324, 5,000, route speed at 210.
All right, we got our approach chart, and you said we're going all the way to Tango Terminal 1, Ramp 1. So Lima 3. So we'd go Juliet, Lima, all the way down to Ramp 1 South. That's what these are here. This is 1 South, 2 South, etc. 5 North, 4 North, 3 North, etc. And you have left and right. It's also ramp controlled, but it doesn't really apply here. All right. We're looking good. We're speed out nav, 8,000 feet. Flaps are position 1. Let's do a, while we're at it, now that we have time, let's run a quick landing data assessment here. We're landing on Atlanta's 09 right. We're going to do RCAM 3. We're going to apply the METAR. We're going to do landing weight of 138.6.
To maintain 5,000, turn left 020.
020 down to 5,000, United 357. 020 and 5,000. 020, 5,000 feet is set. Now, since a vector, let's go ahead and extend it off of the fix inside of Andy. DFINS 275. Verify that. Looks good. Insert. Select heading. We've got ourselves a nice line drawn out. So that looks good. iFun 108.9.
1324 to maintain 3,000.
We're going to do flap full, auto land, low brakes, max reverse. And would probably be good medium on the RCAM. Really? 8,000 feet? So auto brakes low. I don't know if I quite believe that, but auto brakes low, 8,000 feet, which is fine because we know the only exit we can take on this less than 300 RVR chart is rolling it to the end. So, I mean, if you do medium brake, like it's going to really, you don't want to be medium brake and then having a taxi at 2 knots, holding up traffic behind you. So we're going to do low brake, flap full, max reverse. There we go. That looks, there we go. Maybe it didn't update.
57, turn left.
I believe that.
360, so to maintain 4,000. 3,000, route speed 180.
360, 4,000, 180 at 4, United 357. All right.
1324.
4,000 is set, 360 on the heading. Once we get there, we need to slow to 180 knots. A little trick here, if you don't want to forget. So once I'm in open descent, I know the best the airplane can give me is 1,700 feet. So I'm going to select 1,700 feet vertical speed. I'm going to set speed 180.
0179.
And you don't want to do this for long descents, but this is just kind of a little hack so I don't forget to slow to 180 because I'm single pilot right now. So I locked in the vertical speed that I was getting at idle thrust. And now I set 180. And we're coming on down. 5,000 to level off. You really don't want to be doing that more than, 2,000 feet at a time, because then it could potentially get away from you.
1324, 5 miles from Guy, turn right, heading 065, maintain 3,000 until stops from low advisor, $2 from runway, then a right approach.
065, I'm heading, maintain 3,000.
Captain Oleg, I just saw your message up there. Scooter Kirby, thank you for all your hard work and sacrifice, and about that overdue contract. Ah, yeah, indeed, man. I actually live in Atlanta, 40 minutes north of ATL, and the weather's really foggy. Nice. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for nice foggy weather. So we're still plus 17. Oh, can't see it. We're still plus 17, so we're looking good there. Now we're coming to 180 on the speed. We're VFE next minus 10. Let's extend flaps 2. Wow, this weather is looking perfect right now. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. Did I lose the Fly Live overlay? I did, didn't I? Alright, well, we're done with you.
And approach United 2075.
29901 is the updated altimeter. According to Gulf, though, it's 29904, so let's set 29904. 29904 is set. Thank you.
2075 again.
Alright, we're 180, flaps 2. Cloud surfing. I actually like this wing view better.
We're way too high. We're going to need vectors for the approach for United 2075.
This is Atlanta, like legit. This is exactly what it's like going into Atlanta right now. It's cool.
And 2075 Atlanta approach, squawk 0464.
That's why I had flaps 3. That's why it was to
United 357 riding 065 to localizer.
065 join the low, United 357. All right, 065.
Double 25,
and join the localizer.
Southeast of the Atlanta airport, runway right.
065 and a localizer only. So Loc Blue.
357, 5 miles from Guy, maintain 4,000 until stops from localizer. Cleared ILS, runway 8 right approach. Approach.
4 to establish. Cleared ILS, 9 right approach, United 357. All right, we're 4,000. Cat3 dual, autopilot 1+2. Loc Star, localizer is alive. Well, it's been captured. Glide slope, we're still waiting on the glide slope. We know in Sim World, glide slope doesn't really show up until we're within, what, like 10 miles or something? So we're going to monitor that closely. If I was doing this in real life and I had no glide slope indication right now, I'd be raising an eyebrow. All right, localizer is alive. We verified 1089, iFun, check, both sides. We're looking good. We're still above plus 16 on the temp, so we're looking good.
Yeah,
there's our glide slope.
0431.
Got a 47 knot crosswind. Jeez. Probably should have considered
2075 radar contact 20 miles west of the Atlanta airport.
Look at this overcast though. This is spicy, man. This is max. This is max juice right here. This is awesome. This is just awesome.
And 2075, I tell you what, turn left heading 360. Left 360, not 2075.
This
is so
cool.
Golf, radar contact 45 miles northwest of the Atlanta airport. Just northeast of the Atlanta airport, runway 8 left.
We'll start the recording once we pick up the glide slope. How's that? About a dot high, we'll start the recording.
United 357. And 357, number 2. Sorry, you're 5 in trail of a 737 and a 5-mile final, runway 9 right, clear to land. Runway 9 right, RVR greater than 6,000.
9 right, clear to land, 357. All right, RVR greater than 6,000, so that's a good sign. We're clear to land. Lights are on. We're 2,180. We're ahead of the airplane. We're looking good. Since we prepped for a auto land, we'll let it come down and do its thing, and that might take over if we break out early. But you always want to be ahead of the airplane. If you think you might need to do a Cat 3, set up for it, because the last thing you want to do is not be set up for it and lose the runway at 200 feet, and now you got to go around. Glide slope's alive. Check.
United 2075 to set a maintain 5,000.
Recording will start. Oh, we're still a ways out. We're still 12 miles.
We're 875 with Golf, set a maintain 12,000.
Down to 12,000, 875 Golf.
2075 radar contact loss.
Uh-oh. All right, glide slope star. Recording is on. Go around altitude is initial altitude 4,000 feet. Go around altitude is set 4,000 blue. Check.
At
Chris.
2075 for position.
Just want to let you know we're all counting on you. Me too. I didn't set these things. Rip. Oh well. Still plus 15. A little bit of a temperature inversion going on here. Temperature on the ground was 7, so we are going to lose it
Delta 2564, pretty speed
at
at
some point.
Reducing speed at 210 knots, Delta 25.
2,500.
All right,
Yeah,
2,500
2075
feet.
you up.
Shadow the controls. And I'm going to go a little bit early on this one, so instead of our regular
75 Atlanta.
2,000, what about 2,200 or so AGL?
My apologies. Keep going through now.
At 2075, radar contact.
Let's go ahead and
turn
manage
left,
it. Manage
heading
speed.
230.
Gear down.
Left 230, nose 2075.
Speed brakes
At
on.
2075, reduce speed at 210.
210 on the speed.
I'm monitoring that temp right down there in that bottom right corner.
Number 87 Bravo Golf, Cutter Cloud.
Bernie, 2,700. Check. Flaps 3. There's the outer marker. Man, look at that wind. Good night. VIA Phoenix minus 10 flaps full landing checklist.
At 2075, continue that left turn, heading 180.
180, nose 2075.
Landing checklist. Cabin crew advise. Auto thrust. Speed. Auto brakes. Low. ECAM memo. Landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. 35 knots on the nose now. Plus 17. Plus 12. We're right on that line, and because I don't trust Microsoft, we're doing this. We're going to go engine anti-ice on, just because I don't trust Microsoft icing conditions. We're on the line. We're on the border. Real life, no, we'd be fine right now. My wife is looking funny at me when I'm sitting in the living room with a seatbelt on. Oh, man. Yeah, make sure your seatbelts are buckled.
And at 2075, change the runway 9 right. The runway 9 right, localize the frequency.
Remember, we have some new call-outs on this. There comes the rain. That might have lowered the temp.
Right, you're nose to
Yeah, look at that. Now we're at plus 10, so temperature is dropping
At
quickly.
2075, just to maintain 4,000.
4,000.
All right, wind has shifted straight to a headwind now, 21 knots.
Delta 2564.
We're within our
just to maintain
limitation.
7,000.
7,000, Delta 2564.
Remember, 350 feet.
1324, welcome to Atlanta.
Wow, this is soup. Land green. That's our call.
Full short of 9 left at Galaxy United.
Approach lights. That's not a call. I shouldn't say that. Damn it. Not a call on the Cat 3.
Departure Solaris 0179. We're at Delta 34, ready for push start.
Aircraft calling push and start at your discretion.
Runway.
We're at our
Landing.
discretion, Solaris 0179.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Retard. 5.
Autopilot off. I have control. Jeez, it was definitely tracking right of center line there. Spoilers. Reverse screen. Decel. Manual brakes. 70 knots. Let's let it ride. So I disengaged the autopilot there at the end because we were drifting. Last thing you want to start doing is drifting on a wet runway. But that's a simism. It's not a, that wouldn't happen in real life, most likely. I know you guys love your wipers. So
At
let's go
337,
wipe
welcome to Atlanta. Hold short of 9 left, Delta.
Hold short on left to Delta, United 337. I think that's a Phoenix thing or sim thing. So
2564 to maintain.
we're going to go to the proper exit here.
5,000, Delta 2564.
And at 13 or 24, cross runway 9 left at Delta from Mike ramp connect.
Cross 9 left of Delta, Mike to the ramp, gonna United 1324.
Where's my line at? There it is. I just went off into the rip. I think we have an improper layout here. Hold short of 9 left at Delta.
Yeah, 2075, turn left at 125, turn left cluster.
So we gotta make a left turn. Delta is 1 over. He didn't want me to go all the way to the end. So in real life, the only low-vis taxi route is that last one, but we're going to come back here, hold short of 9 left at Delta. We're both heads up. I know we're not full, less than 300 RVR, but I'm going to just simulate it because it's good practice for me. So we're not going to reconfigure anything yet. That's weird. Delta, Kilo are kind of combined. So right, that's Juliet. Delta's this next one, so we'll hold short of 9 left at Delta. Kind of confusing there because it doesn't really match. Delta Kilo really are the same taxiway. It is taxiway. Well, you can't say Dixie anymore. It used to be Dixie. Hold short. All right, with the brakes set, let's go ahead and let's do an after landing checklist. So with the brakes set, we'll go spoilers, retract, flaps are coming up. We're holding short of the runway. I would have got this first.
Emirates 7 Bravo Delta, Bravo Golf, set to maintain 7,000.
We got our engine anti-ice on because
Emirates 7 Bravo
we're
Golf,
visible
set to
moisture
maintain
and it is
7,000.
plus 7C. So we're going to continue to hold short.
American 2690 on our approach, runway in our
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hot Atlanta. Definitely a spicy one. How cool is this weather simulation, though? It's exactly what the METAR is saying in real life. Like, that's exactly what it's showing. In and out of the rain.
Set to maintain 7,000.
Catching up with the chat here. Yeah, Shank, it was spicy. It was a spicy one. I don't even know what the landing rate was. It was an auto land, so it wasn't me, but I think that's a Phoenix thing there. It's having a hard time.
Delta 862 on
It's
our
something
approach,
either
runway in our
Phoenix or Microsoft or a combination of both, because for some reason glide slopes and localizers in Microsoft are hit or miss. They really are. Like, we came over that runway at 4 whites on the Pappies, but we were on the glide slope. So I know they're not coincident, but it's still, they wouldn't have been that far off. And it just, I don't know. There's funky stuff happening with that.
United 2075.
But we're still,
And 2075, 5 miles from
we're
Bernie,
still within
maintain
limits.
3,000 until status and localizer.
I think I would have done the same thing in real life. If you break out like that and you see you're in auto land, the mains touch, and the nose is pointed way off to the right, I'm taking control of that airplane
Emirates 7 Bravo Golf,
sooner than later, because you don't want to be going off and having to do severe corrections. Now, I would also,
Flores 0179.
I would also be writing
Delta
that up.
32 ready for taxi.
So we get to the gate, I bring out that maintenance can again, and I would say
hotel.
during auto land, aircraft did not maintain center line. So that would be a maintenance write-up.
0179, runway 8 right.
Should I get Honeycomb or Thrustmaster yoke? I fly both a lot of commercial and GA, so I'm not sure which is best for me. Ari, man,
Dallas for Flores 179 and 8 right, taxi via Echo Hotel.
I don't. It's tough, man. It's personal preference. I personally enjoy Thrustmaster yoke better, just because it's you have 100% like no
Emirates 7 Bravo Golf.
stiction, or you don't have. It's not too stiff. I don't know. I personally feel like the Thrustmaster yoke is game changing. The Honeycomb yoke is good, but mine gave me issues, and it's just I don't know. Didn't leave a good good vibe for me. Are we gonna stay here all day, or?
United 357, cross the runway 9 left at Delta, join Mike to the ramp, good day.
Curl cross 9 left, Mike to the ramp, United 357. All right, those are coming on, and that's coming on. We're cleared to cross. Let's go. You're right, Chaos. The fly-by-wire does land straight. Join Mike, which is the Interesting. It's the outer one, isn't it? Yeah, normally it'd be Lima. Well, maybe this flow they'd be having you join Mike. But we'll take Mike all the way down, and we'll stop the recording. I have the recording going this whole time. Rip. We'll go all the way down to terminal
United 2075, runway 9 right, clear to land.
1. That is a good depiction of visibility,
Delta
though.
2564, turn right,
So,
heading
like,
065
yeah, in real life, I
from
might turn the
localizer.
wiper on a little bit
Right,
now.
065 to the localizer.
That's about as bad as they are in real life.
American 2690, reduce speed to 210, then to set and maintain 5,000. Number 87 Bravo Golf Elena.
Getting dark in here. There we go.
Delta to 62, cross fry to 2,210 knots on speed.
Alright, is everybody thoroughly annoyed enough? Let's turn them off. Nice strobes.
Delta 862, cross fries at 2,000, speed 210.
Alright, cross fries, 2000, 210.
Sounds great.
Delta 87,
Yeah.
862.
I can only leave them on
Mark
as
7
long as
Bravo
I
Golf,
can
ready to
handle them.
contact lost. Delta 2564, 5 miles from easy, maintain 3,000.
Alright, we need to go, which is going to be Lima 3. I don't know what's up with
Yeah, left hand right approach, Delta 25.
Mike 12.
What's the 1860 on are you up?
1860 is your, yeah, I'm on the wrong side here, but I'm ready to go at 8.
I mean, does it really
It's all
matter?
good. Southwest
Let's just take
1860,
it.
RNAV to Herschel, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV to Herschel.
I think we got one more to go. This is Lima 5. We're going to sidestep on Lima. He's technically not a ground controller. Look at that Delta plane just in the shadows. It's so cool.
On dog one.
Delta 575 on our approach, runway 8 left, altimeter 2992.
Then 2992 and
Delta 2564, runway 9 right, RVR greater than 6,000, runway 9 right.
It's like
good
they
line.
skimped on their design for the
Turtle land,
wipers.
road
Yeah,
down right,
it's like they ran out of money for funding for wipers. Everything else was done. We got these
American
super
2690,
over-engineered
3,000,
astronaut
turn right,
chairs,
heading
but our
020.
wipers can't even keep the windshield clear. Sorry, Chief. We spent the remaining
Departure Solaris,
$1 million budget
0179, hold
on
short runway 8
seat
right.
movement.
RS0179 on our
Just stick a
right, 1 point.
Miata wiper on there.
Line
and
up
call it
8
good.
right, Solaris 0179.
That guy's mic is about 300 by 5.
Delta 575, just to maintain 12,000. Can consider gas.
12000 for the gas for Delta.
Southwest 1860, radar contact, south please.
And that's in 2000, Southwest 18.
Alright, we're going to just take this turn in here because I want to do the replay before the weather changes too.
Delta 818 on our approach, runway 8 left.
Runway 8, left Delta 818 and
Alright, spot 15.
Delta 818, just to maintain 9
Or no, we're in the right spot. 1 south, transition left line to the gate. Alright, transition left line to the
Atlanta
gate.
Delta
We'll take this
471,
one
we're
right
on
here.
ramp 3 south side, request tackle.
Delta 471, contact Atlanta Tower, runway 9.1.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I had a real world grip there and I was blocking the camera. Tango 3 is our gate. Let's go. You like that, Zach? It's for you, man.
Delta 862, just to maintain 7,000. American 2690, turn right, heading 065, come north pleasant.
Oh, that's pretty spicy right there. Boop. Brake set. Ladies and gentlemen,
Departure Solaris
welcome
079 is
to
lined up on way 8 right.
Atlanta. Let's go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. thanks for the ATC. And how do we do a parking job? Ooh, a little bit far. A little far. That's all right. We're disconnected from VATSIM. Let's get our flaps back out there. I think we were like flaps 3 when we hit the approach, something like that. Let's get our lights on. You missed the drink service, Key 6. Yeah, we're well past that, buddy. Brakes are off. Replay engage. Ooh, right on top of the soup. And here we go. Let's see how we did. I'll leave you one full one at the end, but let's just see how the landing, how we actually touched down. Wow, look at this though. That looks awesome in this rain. Oh, flaps full. So airplane was doing good. It likes to track right of center line. That's happened twice.
100.
Now. I feel like it missed it. It almost had a butter, and then it missed it. Ooh, that would have been firm. But an auto land is a good land. I think, and then I took over and a little bit of getting it back on the center line. A little bit of an S-turn there, trying to get it right back straight. Doesn't show when I disconnected the autopilot, does it? I was trying to, if I could recouple it, that would be cool.
100.
So we're coming down, I'm trying to see what happened. It was right the whole way.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
See, it kind of, it missed its bump, and it was right. So then I took, I was like, all right, I have control. Looking at the far end. Look at the far end. A little bit jerky there, a little hunky-dory getting her down. Small corrections. Right back on center line. Probably could have been better with the center line correction there, but either way, that was awesome. I'm going to put you guys right here on the top of the clouds. We're going to get sail going. You're going to get a full replay as we go into Atlanta here. And we are going to sign it off. Dougal, is that drift a sim or a Phoenix issue? Sim issue, man. That little drift there left and right, that's going to be a sim issue. Maybe a Phoenix issue. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, though, the real airplane shouldn't do that. If that would happen in real life, like I said, it would be a mechanical write-up, no doubt about it. So, guys, tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 4 Central, join me for the launch of VAAL. I think you guys are really going to like it. I got some little fun flight in store for you. Should have a good time. So, thank you everyone for hanging out with me today on this stream. Hopefully you got to enjoy a little bit of Autoland situation. Tomorrow, 5 Eastern, I'll be here, you be here. Enjoy the full replay as our Cat 3 approach into Atlanta. Thank you, that's in for the ATC. Thank you for all the subscribers, the like buttons, and the donations. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!